Hey, it's Lacey Broussard, and this is the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast. From sex and motherhood, birth and relationships, communication and intimacy building, and Taoism and Tantra, we explore topics such as self-care, self-pleasure, body image, jade eggs, the feminine cycles, creativity in business, and modern spirituality. The Multi-Orgasmic Mama is a place to come for true stories and transformational advice on how to be a mama and a multi-orgasmic woman too. Welcome, it's Lacey Broussard here, and today I have Kayla Yoder. Hey Kayla, how you doing?
Hey, really good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you on.
I'm really excited too. I think that what you're doing and this conversation that you're leading is so important. And I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Yeah, it is super important. So I just want to start by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and who you serve and what you do.
Yeah, happy to. So I'm a mom. I have a 2.5-year-old son, and I'm a life purpose coach for moms. So I'm really here to serve, especially moms that are going through this transition in their life where their kids are a bit older and they have some space now and they're kind of like wanting more for themselves and not sure what their next step is. So helping them to find and build a life for themselves that's really exciting and inspiring and lights them up, and also is really harmonious with their family life and continuing their motherhood.
Yeah, that's super important. I love that.
Mm.
Because women that have a strong purpose in life are so much more lit up and happy to be around.
Yeah, when mom's happy, everyone's happy, right?
Oh my God, so true. Now, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about how you got into this and why this is your life's purpose and your work.
Yeah, I'm not sure where to start because I have been on like a spiritual path, you could say, since I was a kid. And I mean, kids are all very connected to spirit, right? And then it just kind of gets maybe buried or suppressed or something. But my mom was a yoga teacher, so I've done yoga since I was in the womb and everything. And basically, I have always been very interested in changing the world and having a powerful impact in the world. So I've always kind of had a strong sense of purpose. I think the first time that I actually like wrote out a life purpose statement was when I was like 15 or 16, and I did a Living Passionately seminar at Landmark. And then I did another version of that a few years later with a friend of mine who does coaching. And then once I became a mom, I actually had a mentor. He was also my chiropractor. And I wrote out an even more full life purpose statement. So that always really fueled me. And when I became a mom, I wasn't expecting it. And I was really excited, but also very scared that I would lose myself because I was just young. I had only been out of college a few years, and I was dabbling in Reiki healing and shamanic healing and stuff like that, but I didn't have a clear sense of what I was going to be doing, and I was afraid of being consumed just by motherhood. So I got really dedicated to figuring out and choosing to nourish my path as I was also nourishing my son. And I just really saw that it works. It works great. And it requires asking for support and building community too. So it's definitely, and I was really supported by a community of women at that time. So yeah, I started life coaching. I had a coach, and she said to me, I was telling her how I really want to bring healing and I really want to do coaching, and I have all these tools I've been studying my whole life. And she said, what I'm hearing is that you really want to be a life coach. And she only said back to me what I had just said, but somehow it was like a light bulb. And I was like, yeah, actually, yeah, I really do. And so it was something, I don't know, I was just ready. And I was like, okay, yep. So I'm going to do this. And I said to a friend, like, I'm going to start life coaching. And she said, oh, you should coach me. And I said, okay. So I started coaching her a little bit, helped her find her direction and where she wanted to live and her path. And then, once my son was born and I was actually like faced with the challenge of now raising this child that's its own full entity, I really wanted to upgrade it and say and really claim like, okay, I want this to be my sacred livelihood. And there was some pressure. My partner and I were struggling at that time, and I wasn't sure if I would have his support. And I really felt like, okay, I need to stand on my own feet. And so I have this knowledge, I have this service to offer. And I had been so supported by coaches and by other women. I think there's something really special about women supporting women. And so, and moms supporting moms. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to basically give back what I have gotten from the universe. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story.
Thanks.
You help women find their soul purpose and their life purpose. And I'm curious to know, how do you define what the soul is? And how can you know what your life purpose is?
This is a good question. I love the question, how do you define the soul? Because I just believe that that's a question that should never have a satisfying answer. I think that the value of that question is in asking it and thinking about it. So, I mean, I personally define the soul as like the part of you that is timeless, the part of you that is connected to the infinite, and that is connected to all things, to all energy. It's like kind of that place where you're that's beyond, your mind, what your mind is, what your body is, everything else pretty much is like your soul. But I also I'm always just curious about, how would you define the soul? How do my clients define their soul? What does that mean? And I think that's like a really just a fruitful inquiry in itself. So
Yeah. Well, as you're saying all of that, I'm thinking about, well, how do I define the soul?
Yeah.
And what comes to me is that it is the part of me that's infinitely connected and one with the parts of you that are infinitely connected and one with me. That would be my definition. But anyway, that is beside the point. Well, how can you know what your soul purpose is then?
So I always say, you're not going to find your purpose. You have to define it. Mm-hmm. So it's actually, and I pulled up the my most recent purpose statement to share.
Oh, yay. You're saying you had a purpose statement. I was like, wait, I want to know, what is her purpose?
Yeah. So here it is. So my purpose statement: I am here now to evolve, transform, inspire, and enjoy as a daughter, sister, friend, lover, professional, and mother in schools, homes, offices, and natural landscapes, using my ability to perform, create, learn, teach, experience, interpret, think, feel, give, and receive with compassion. I am responsible for facing the challenges of my time with grace, wonder, and knowing. I am here to inspire my fellow human beings to live in the truth that we are creators of our reality, harnessing a playful balance of divine masculine and divine feminine essences. I am here to witness and dance us all into the paradigm for living in which we know ourselves to be at the source of creation. I am a stand for a culture of peace, abundance, love, and happiness for all beings in delightful harmony with the earth and the cosmos. And so it is.
Holy shit.
I know, but
That was pretty specific.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that specific by any means. That was like the third one that I had come up with over like 10, 15 years of working on it. So, but the elements of that I want to portray to women and mothers who are looking for their purpose, is that it's really like you can't do it wrong. And it's just a matter of claiming what's already in you and why you're here. And you can start with something as simple as, I just know that I'm here to heal, or I just know that I'm here to help people in some way. But the process starts by just claiming what it is you do know about why you're here. And then, building on that, and then you can get more specific about, okay, well, so what are my specific skills and abilities, or what are my passions? What am I interested in? What really lights me up, and how does that relate? And it's just a process of finding your excitement, really.
Yeah.
Finding what you're
and when you do, it's, the topic of what do you desire comes up for me, because to me, your desires lead you to your soul purpose. I guess I never thought about defining it, because I always figured it would be defined as I claimed my desires and as I followed them, because then they would lead me to my purpose. So the desire became like a North Star for me.
Yeah.
So maybe that's one route of getting to it, or you could just define it like you did. That's really cool.
I love that. No, it's, it's really both. It's kind of the same thing, because you're following your desire, but you have to claim what your desire is. I have this desire to heal and to be creative and to support the earth. And so all I'm doing is I'm getting present to that desire. I'm realizing, I have this desire. And then I'm claiming it, and I'm saying, okay, this is my purpose. This is why I'm here.
Yeah. And when you say that, I think about all of the times my desires have changed, and then my purpose has changed because my desire has changed. So at one point in my life, I desired to be a doula and a midwife, and I did that for a while. And then my desire changed, and I wanted to teach women how to have better, more intimate, connected sex. And then my purpose changed because my desire changed. So it's kind of like one and the same almost. And they're very fluid and dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, my next question is, how does a woman that knows her purpose and who's connected to her desires, how does that change how she shows up in a relationship? And more specifically, how does it change how she shows up in the bedroom?
Well, my first answer to that question is like another question, which is, what is the purpose of a relationship? And what is the purpose of, your, like, sounds weird to say, what is the purpose of your sex life? But like, what kind of, what's the intention? Why is that important to you? And when you know your purpose in life, when you're connected to your sense of your intentions, your desires, then it elevates your ability to show up in, for me, relationships have always been, the purpose of a relationship has always been to further my spiritual path and help me know myself better. Obviously as mothers and partnership, a lot of times the purpose of a relationship is like work together and build together and take care of day-to-day stuff. But again, like, what's the point of that? Like it all, like the juice of life really comes down to like, why is it important? Why is it meaningful to you? So when you're connected to your own sense of meaning in your life, then you bring that into your relationship and you bring that into the bedroom. And if you're feeling empty in your life, if you're feeling lost and confused, then, you can sort of end up having sex that feels a little bit empty and boring and kind of the same. So it really is an avenue to opening up more meaning in a relationship and in the bedroom as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And one thing that popped into my mind was that nobody asks us, why do we have sex? Or we don't ask ourselves, what's the purpose of sex other than creating humans? But, 99.9% of the time that we have sex, it's not to create another human, right? So then why
Yeah.
are we doing it? Well, we do it for pleasure. But in my opinion, we have sex because it's an ultimate celebration of life. It's
Yeah.
celebration. And if that becomes part of what if your purpose is just to celebrate and enjoy the moment and enjoy being in this human body with freaking amazing genitals that can experience ridiculous amounts of pleasure? Like, what if that's all there is? That wouldn't be so bad now, would it?
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, honestly, simple is better. Maybe I need to simplify my purpose statement to that, because that sounds great.
Well, yeah, the further I go on this path, the more that I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's just to enjoy every fucking moment,
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and it comes back around, right? Because when you're really enjoying the moment, like, you're also like helping other people to enjoy. Like, nobody is in a bubble. So, if you're really enjoying your life, then that's going to ripple out and other people are going to enjoy their lives, and, it's all connected.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have those really shitty days, I always ask myself, like, okay, well, yep, it's really shitty today, and how can I make this the most fun possible? That's a really good way to get out of the non-celebratory days where you just feel like you have nothing to be grateful for or celebrate.
How do you do that?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I just ask myself, how can this be the most fun in this moment? How can I make this fun right now? And usually I'll get some sort of idea. Usually something really stupid and crazy. Like, I'll go turn on some music and start dancing like crazy, or I'll just go outside and go swing under the oak tree, or I don't know, just anything to get out of that
Mm-hmm.
blah moment.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to relationships, purpose of relationships. But for people who are really conscious about their relationship and really want it to have meaning, defining the purpose of your relationship is obviously important. So if our soul holds the key to our purpose, right, then how can we get our partners or our lovers on board to honor our own individual purpose while still maintaining the purpose of the relationship at the same time? Does that make sense?
Basically, the first thing, if you want to have your partner honor you and your purpose, you first have to honor it yourself. So, especially if you're in a phase of going into a new purpose and exploring, you're having some new desires, and maybe there can definitely be like fear around expressing that and getting support from your partner. The first thing to do is to just really go within yourself and get really, really committed. Like, you have to get to the place where you basically have no choice. Not that you don't have a choice and it's like, oh, poor me, I have to do this. But like, you're just so clear and you want it so much that like, you're just willing to do whatever it takes to follow that path. And you don't even have to know what it is. You don't have to know like exactly what it's going to look like, but it could just be, how you want to feel. You just know that you want to feel more excited and you want to feel maybe, whatever. So once you know and are willing to honor it in yourself, then you start taking little actions. Maybe you're exploring something, maybe you take a new class, but small things that are not disruptive to your current life, but that excite you and light you up and turn you on. And then, you're excited and you're turned on and you're lit up, and your partner is just going to see that and be like excited for you too, probably. And then if they're not, if it brings up fear or resistance in them, then, you're already clear on what you want. And everything that we create in life is like, all of life is a creation. And so it comes from our commitment. So if you have a commitment to honoring the relationship and the purpose of the relationship, there's no reason why that has to conflict with your purpose too. So it's just a matter of being willing to do what it takes to create what it is that you really want, and allow yourself to believe that you can have it. And so, if your partner has that resistance or something, then you can just reassure them, like, I'm committed that our relationship is really great, and you can show up for them with compassion for what they might be needing and what they might be afraid of, or, what might be going on for them, and just sort of hold space for them. And maybe they need to find more clarity on their purpose too. So, and honoring them. And if you honor them, you honor what they're needing, then, that will come back to you as well.
Yeah. When I get coaching clients, sex, love, relationship coaching clients that haven't done too much work on their sexuality before, or haven't been really conscious about their sexual choices or anything, one of the first things that always comes up is, I'm scared to even tell my partner that I'm working with you, or that, I'm doing this work, because I don't know what they're going to think. And I always have to tell them, well, first of all, if you're with a man and you tell him that you're working on your sexuality, I doubt he's going to be mad at you. It can only help. So, and then they're usually fine with that. But that's such a huge and common fear for women, is that they fear working on their sexuality. And honestly, I think we just use men as an excuse. It kind of masks the actual fear, because the actual fear is that we're afraid of our own power. The fear that we say it is, well, I don't know how he's going to react, or I don't know what he's going to think. I don't know. He might leave me or abandon me. Well, the truth is that 99% of the time he's not, because he's going to be excited you're working on it. But yeah, that's a super common thing. So women that are really beginning to claim their purpose and their desire and take action to getting them, just know that that's normal for these fears to come up. But the more that you claim them, do you want to live your authentic truth, or do you just want to hide behind this fear and stay small? Because that's really what you're doing,
Yeah. And ultimately it just has to do with like responsibility. Like if you're willing to just show up and responsible, it's like able to respond, like just trusting yourself to be able to handle the things as they come. And, I think we can give ourselves a little bit more credit for how much we contribute to the men in our lives, and really allow them to contribute to us by supporting us when we get clear about a really important step we want to take in our growth.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Well, when we become connected to our purpose and our desires, and we start to become conscious of them and start to claim them, which is, a huge win right there. So if you've even arrived at that point, yay for you. But we become really connected to the desire piece. And I'm wondering if you have any practices that can help with us to help manifest these desires into our life.
Yes. So since this is the multi-orgasmic mama, there's like lots of practices you can do that involve writing and stuff, but you can also do sex magic,
Yeah.
which is a very cool practice that basically just means that you are dedicating your sexual energy towards your purpose or your vision or your desires. Because our sexual energy it's just basically pure life force energy. And it is, it's very closely related to the soul. It's this timeless, just playful, pure kind of, energy. So basically with sex magic, you just you set an intention, you clarify what it is you want, and you can be specific, or you can just focus on how you want to feel. And I like that, especially like if you're in a beginning of this practice, because it stays pure. And the thing with sex magic is like you're working with your subconscious. And if your subconscious wants something different than what your conscious mind wants, then you're probably going to get that, which is, going to maybe take you for a bit of a roller coaster. It always, if you have an intention for growth and positive intentions, then it's always going to have a positive outcome. But you definitely want to be very careful in a way with how you set your intention. And you want to use symbols and images. So basically the way it works is you come up with a vision of what you want, or a sensation of like, I want to feel excited. I want to feel free and playful. And you just get connected to what that would feel like. And then you go into a pleasure experience. You can do it by yourself or with a partner. If you do it with a partner, you want to make sure that you both have the same intention in mind and the same vision, and super clear, like talk about it, maybe even write it down, cut out some images from a magazine, like get super specific with each other and clear. And if you're doing like a feeling, you could even ask them, like, so we're saying that we want to feel like really deeply intimate and connected. Like, what does that actually feel like in your body? Is it like a warm sensation in your chest and like butterflies in your stomach? What does it actually feel like? Get really specific. And then you just sort of take as long as you can to just, get into a sensual space and, massage yourself or each other, and, follow your desires in the moment, and just, see if you can just build up your sexual energy as long as possible. And then when you reach a state of orgasm, you bring your vision back into mind and just combine basically the ecstatic bliss of the orgasm with that blissful vision that you have. And it basically like programs your unconscious mind to pull that forward. And and there's also two fun ways that you can think about the orgasm, that you can either think of it, you can either basically direct the energy outwards and say, okay, I'm dedicating this orgasmic energy to go out into the world and like move things around to manifest what I want. Or if you feel like everything's in alignment for me to have what I want, and I'm just like, for some reason, it's just not happening, there must be something in me, then you can direct your orgasm to go within you and remove any blocks that are stopping you from receiving what it is you want. And if you don't know whether it's better to send it out or in, then just don't worry about it. Your pussy's pretty magical. She'll do it. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a great description. Yeah, and you can even like make it more potent if you pay attention to the chakras and like sending and refining the sexual energy through each of the chakra centers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's kind of like an advanced thing. So yeah, just starting with dedicating the sexual energy and pleasure to an intention or goal, sending it off into the universe as you orgasm, and then letting all of those blessings and the whole vision of it rain down on you at that moment.
Exactly.
So powerful. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then that moment is just like reveling in the joy of having everything you want and the timelessness of just like, your fullest self. And then when the orgasm fades away, like you let it go and you just trust that you just created that. So it's gonna come about.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Yeah.
I practice that one a lot.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Last question is, what one tip or trick can you give us to become a multi-orgasmic mama?
I think the one tip or trick that I would give is talk and listen to your pussy.
Yeah. You need a relationship with her at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. So like and it's a good one for moms, I think, because like you can be busy in the middle of like doing a million things and you can just take a quick moment and just like put a hand down there or, just breathe into your body and just like connect. And it's good to just ask like, what would you like in this moment, or what do you need right now? And it doesn't have to take more than 30 seconds, really. And you might not always get an answer right away, especially if you haven't talked to her much or haven't listened much. I remember when I first started doing this and I was asking, I was like, hey, pussy, like, what's going on? And the feeling was like, oh, now you're like paying attention, It's like, yeah, sorry. And yeah, so it's just something that you can practice and just trust that like if you keep asking and tuning in, then you'll get answers and you'll get directions. Once I did this and like in the car and like, just tuning in to see like, what should I do? Where should I go? And she was like, go into that hair salon right there. So I had been wanting this particular color of nail polish. Like I work with colors a lot.
Sounds really superficial, but I really like it.
But I had no idea. I didn't even know if this place was open, but I walked in and they had the exact color that I wanted and it was on sale. So, but color is really like meaningful to me and my spiritual path and everything. So yeah, so maybe a little superficial, but
no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Take your pussy shopping with you, ladies. See how much more sexier clothes you buy then.
Yeah. And fun.
That is fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on. I love all of the wonderful conversations and the depth and all of the description of sex magic. That's super awesome. Y'all go try that out.
Yeah, let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye.